Thursday at the Summer Street Stroll Farmers Market.
Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Had a lot of fun preparing for this game because, like you said, with 2 wins, I think we didn't quite fully understand what the preparation part of it is to get ready.
Caitlin and the new freshmen, they're extraordinary, and there's no beating their talent, so I just worry about myself.
Life is about adversity, and life is about, being able to adapt to different things. And I think in football, there's so much adversity that takes place and teaches you how to lead, how to be a good person, how to work with others.
So ready. It's been a long off season, but it's also flown by. And man, I couldn't be more pumped up for this weekend. We've been playing against our own for a while. It's about time we teed up against somebody else.
They came here because they wanted it. They came here because they wanted the light, they wanted the smoke, they wanted the attention, they wanted the focus, they wanted the love. But also you got to understand there's an opposite of that as well, that you got to be willing to accept. These kids are ready. I like what I see on a daily basis. I really do.
It feels a lot like what Nick Saban's done in Alabama. Whether they make the playoff or they come up short, whatever happens that year, go back and look at the history the following year. What happens when there's a motivated Alabama team? Be very leery of Alabama.
The current model would be the 6th highest ranked conference champions plus the next 6th highest ranked team. Where it gets called into question is if the Pac-12 doesn't exist.
There goes De La Cruz. The pitch is a ball. Throw to second. Not in time. Steers coming home. Throw to the plate. Save! Double steal, and the Reds have the lead.
Reynolds slams one out to left and deep toward the wall and over it for a line drive home run. And the Pirates start off with a 1-0 lead here in the first inning.
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome in. It is a Wednesday show here today. Thursday show. That's Mike Hesher. He's part of the show today. Also with me, Steve Webster, is Aaron Clark and Mike Corson for the Thursday show. I got to turn your mic off. Thanks for saving me, Hesh. I appreciate that. What day is it?
Thursday!
I think Mike thought it was Thursday yesterday. Before he left yesterday, he came and said, well, have a good one on, well.
Have a good Labor Day.
Yeah, it's here. It is the busy time. On the show today, we will talk Panther football. Man, season gets underway tomorrow night. Should be electric down at Memorial Stadium. We'll have Aaron Beck in with us, along with seniors Matthew Johnson and Caden Hoffman. Mike Corson goes on the prowl. Let's try that again. Okay, let's see if we can get a little bit more timing. Mike Corson goes on the prowl with Great Bend girls tennis coach Zach Bartle. We'll have sports headlines for today, and sounds of the past 24 hours. We have guys out in the field today. This is going to be really, really good. Sounds of past 24 hours, Chewy Loera, his team, the Great Bend Panthers soccer team, said his players learned some tough lessons last year, man. You go through a 2-win season, how to prepare. Well, they need to prepare because it's, I guess as Chewy said a couple weeks ago, he said, just good to get Liberal out of the way early. That's where they're going to be today.
Yeah, obviously 2 wins last year, a little disappointing, so everybody, you want to definitely build on that. Can't always gauge what you do by the first team you play because Liberal, Garden City, Dodge City, always tough. So the fact that it's Liberal first, don't take, hopefully they win, but if they don't base the whole season on that either.
Addie Nicholson, she finished third today in the girls' race at the Great Bend Panther Invitational out at Lake Barton. Our 2 correspondents were there. How are the mosquitoes?
I don't know that I got bit. I was told grounds did spray out there.
Really? Good deal.
I don't know that I got bit by a single one. Lots of dragonflies eating them.
Yeah, I didn't see any like those big fire transports coming over and just dusting the whole area. So,
one point earlier in the morning, I got out there pretty early. They were out and active. I had a little bit of mosquito spray on the legs, and they were still determined to get at me, but it evened out as the day went on.
Okay, so Addie Nicholson finishes third in a stacked race today.
Yeah, so Salina Central knew that they were going to have at least one favorite. They only brought the 2 kids. Caitlin Roop wins by 40 seconds in 17:41. Little freshman comes in way after her. Addie finishes third, but that's how tough Caitlin Roop is. Beat Addie by over 2 minutes. But other than that, Great Bend was outstanding.
What was her?
I'm going to have to check the course record from last year, but it's got to be close. First
So
race of
Central
the
only
season.
brought 2?
Yep. Roop and the little freshman, Kaylee Schultz, who has beaten all of Caitlin's middle school track records in the shorter distances.
The little freshman. So they don't have any other runners on their girls' team?
Curious as a 5A if they just didn't bring them and they just wanted to showcase those two, or if they're going to be able to run.
I mean,
as a
you can
team.
find with those 2. I mean, you go out and find 5 kids that are just hanging out
Finish a
outside
race.
the lunchroom that can just finish.
But
And
overall, Great Bend, I think all 5 of their scores in the top 15, so 22 team points compared to Bishop Carroll's 75, so big runaway on the team side.
we'll be breaking down today's meet a little bit later here in Sports Day. We'll also hear some sound from some of the participants that were there. So that's coming up later in Sports Day. Mark Lentz, he's Roger Goodell of high school football. He's the overseer of the sport, and he's very passionate about the sport of football. And, talking about it's what you get out of football. What do you get out of football?
I really liked what he brought up about trying to make players good people. That's something that early in my football career, Coach Crow, when he was at Great Bend High School, something he said that stuck with me is he's going to have good players first and then good people. Or he's going to have good people first and then good players, rather. You had to be a good person to get on the field for him, and that was something he stressed to me, that didn't necessarily care how good you were, but you had to be a good person with good character first. And I think it's a great lesson to teach kids, and football's a great environment to instill that lesson.
I think at the small level, at some point the flips switches once you start getting the money in there. Look at what Jerry Jones has brought into Dallas over and over again. Look at what some of these college kids are up to. So I think at the high school it's not all of you are going to go play college or make money someday, so we can afford to have principles. But when you're getting paid to do it, those principles start to slide.
And that's why I think having a good high school coach can be so important for a young man, because if they are really focused on the right things, then you can get a lot of great lessons. But if they're a high school coach who's really only focused on winning and is willing to just kind of overlook some shortcomings in character if it means a few extra wins, I think in life that can kind of give the players the short end of the stick.
And you can think of one coach, fortunately he's never been in our area, who I wouldn't want him leading my child. And he's one of the best coaches in the state of Kansas.
Well, you going to name any names today?
I won't, but I should.
No, Mark Lentz, big fan of high school football, so he got us ready yesterday. You like the rule changes?
I do, especially the holding one. As an offensive lineman, anytime you can make holding a little less severe, But I do agree with you. If it is 6 yards in the backfield and suddenly that turns into a 16-yard penalty rather than just a 10-yard that it will be now, that is a way bigger detriment to the offense. And I think knocking it back 10 yards is still more than fair to the defense.
So would that make any difference? So the guy's blowing around you on the left side and you just drag him down because you know it's going to be marked off from the line of scrimmage?
I'd love to tell you that I was aware enough to be like, oh, man, I'm about to get beat. I better hold this guy. That way we don't get sacked. It was don't get beat. Oh, man, I'm getting beat. Jake, run, or Coy, run,
And we've had this chat. It's supposed to be a penalty. So if the loss on the play was going to be 8 yards, but you cheated to try to avoid the loss and didn't know you were going to get caught cheating, shouldn't there be a penalty on top of the cheating?
Yeah, but
I think the referee union came out and said, we're trying to track down where that was and mark it with our little beanbag. Just
well,
make
listen,
it
there's
easy on us.
bullets flying in there. You want me to throw that flag directly and without the bounce? I mean, give me some Velcro on it so I can throw it. It's like a yard dart, and it just sticks in the ground so I can get the spot right. There's a lot of pressure there, man.
Just get it close.
Okay, all right. I know I just go back and move it back a couple yards, right? Will Howard, Kansas State's quarterback, ready to go this weekend against Southeast Missouri State. Busy time in the Big 12. So it starts tonight with Colorado. Even though they take on TCU. Last time we saw TCU, we watched them for one quarter. It was a national championship game.
And that's actually a nationally televised one, huh?
On Fox, yes.
All right.
Starts tonight. Other games in the Big 12. Arkansas State plays at Oklahoma. That is on Saturday. Missouri State at Kansas. That's going to be tomorrow night. Colorado at TCU. That's going to be on Saturday. On Saturday, 11 a.m. Kent State against UCF. Remember, they're Big 12 this year. That's kind of hard to follow. Northern Iowa at Iowa State Saturday. Rice at Texas. Eastern Kentucky at Cincinnati. UTSA at Houston. Texas State at Baylor. Southeast Missouri State at K-State. That is the 6 o'clock kick on ESPN+. Same place you can find KU and Missouri State. West Virginia plays at Penn State Saturday night. Texas Tech at Wyoming. Sam Houston at BYU. Deion Sanders, is he going to wear his cowboy hat on Saturday night? Saying his team is beyond ready for the challenge this season.
Is that in Texas, did we say?
Yes.
He's got to wear the hat.
At TCU?
Better wear the hat.
So do you think Colorado's going to have anything? They've got a completely new roster. It'll be interesting to see.
It'll be interesting to see what TCU rolls out with, too, losing Max Duggan and Quentin Johnston. That was a big connection for them last year. Obviously, both those guys in the NFL with the Chargers now. I'm excited to see what TCU's offense can roll out this year, and also excited to see what Coach Prime is going to bring to Colorado.
Kirk Herbstreit saying his preseason pick to win the national championship in college football is Alabama. A lot of people have been kind of just, Alabama, no, they're not going to. I wouldn't put it past them, saying every time you forget about them, they come up and win it. So Kirk Herbstreit, college football analyst ESPN, saying he's taking the Crimson Tide. Heather Dinich, they've got meetings in Dallas tomorrow, college football playoff. They had all this thing lined out, and then the champion of the Pac-12 following next year may just
be the champion of the Pac-4.
It may just be two teams playing for the right to win the championship, right?
We're talking about obligations to schools and the payouts the other day. Part of that, if you're a swimmer, you're a cross-country kid, and you are now going from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean for a league meet, swim can't cover that. So that's where football's impact on the collegiate sport has changed how the other sports.
You almost have to have sub-conferences.
Yeah, now
you have football and basketball, and then
the secondary sports still have to play league games, and now they're traveling all the way across the country.
Well, they can have their own league. They'll just go back to the old Pac-12 for those games.
K-State, 3 league. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, West Virginia getting on their vans to drive down to Stillwater for a
we got to go
Big 12 conference meet.
We got to go debate in Utah.
I can't wait until BYU gets to take a road trip down to UCF all the way across country from the mountains to the swamps, baby.
Okay, call on WLW. Spencer Steer steals home plate. Is after the play at second base. You ought to see that in Little League Baseball, right? American Legion Baseball. There's a guy on first, guy on third, guy tries to steal in second. They throw through, and the guy scores easy. Well, that's what the Reds did last night. Took a 1-0 lead on the Giants in the 6th inning. They beat San Francisco 4-1. And you wrote the story this morning. It was another Pittsburgh Pirate hitting a home run last night. The Royals. So they're at 44 wins now.
Is it 44, 41?
I think it's 40. Yeah, I think 41.
41 and 94 losses.
Okay, so you gave the Royals too much credit when you said they were going to win 56 games.
Apparently. I was too optimistic. I thought they could get 56. They wouldn't be the worst Royals baseball team of all time. I'll say they had my hopes up with that little early August. They won, I think, 7 games in a row. I was a believer, and they just knocked me tumbling back down.
Well, I think you're going to win the Sports Day competition for wins for the Royals this year.
What, do I get a firm handshake?
Yeah, there you go. Sounds the past 24 hours. Sports headlines. We're going to get more into today's cross-country meet out at Lake Barton coming up later. How about 92,003 people going to a volleyball match in Lincoln, Nebraska last night?
Did you see the setup they had for that too? Like they had it out on the football field. It looked pretty neat.
What if you were on the top row?
You were there. There's going to be 50,000 people that were there, but they weren't there, like Woodstock.
Did the wind blow?
That was what I was curious because that ball's so light. But the kicker was what? It was a women's league soccer game. It was the previous record holder, and this barely beat it. But you'd have to go back. Like 16,000 was the record for a volleyball match before. So this obliterated it.
92,000.
Cool idea, though.
Go Big Red.
And I saw what they were charging, $25 to start for adults, $5 for anyone under. And then come game time, some were going for $400. So it's a nice moneymaker for the school. Too.
Yeah, Nebraska opens the season. The football team will have 32,000 there. No, I think they're still getting sellouts. So there you go. Sounds the past 24 hours or so. Sports headlines. All right, we're almost here. We've got all kinds of things going on today. Volleyball's out at Garden City today. We mentioned the soccer team at Liberal. We had cross country this morning. And tomorrow night, Memorial Stadium, the lights are on. The Panthers against the Bullpups of McPherson. We're going to talk all about it here in just a moment. Aaron Beck is in, Matthew Johnson, Caden Hoffman. Sports Day here on a Thursday. Thank you, Hesh, here on KVGB.
Marmee Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the largest inventory of new Rams and Jeeps in central and western Kansas. Make this the summer event and come into Marmee's today and get a $10,000 rebate on a new 1500 Ram Laramie truck and save $7,000 on a new Grand Cherokee Limited demo. Lease a new Wrangler Hybrid demo and get a total of $13,000 off MSRP. Marmee's needs used vehicles and will give fair trade and allowance or just buy your old vehicle for cash. Visit marmies.net. Marmies, make it happen.
Barton Community College is excited to announce the expansion of the welding program with an Associate of Applied Science degree and a 2-semester certificate. With our expanded offerings, you'll gain knowledge in welding techniques, safety procedures, blueprint reading, and more. Get hands-on training from Barton faculty with industry experience, ensuring you develop the skills needed to excel in your career. Now enrolling. Learn more at welding.bartoncccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Zach Strite, commercial lender for Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
It's Panther football time on Sports Day as we present Great Bend football coach Aaron Beck. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Sports Day also brought to you in part by Next Tech Wireless Experience Wireless, built by Kansans for Kansans, and Advanced Therapy and Sports Medicine. Get your life back. It's almost here. We're a little over 24 hours away from getting the high school football season underway. Head coach Aaron Beck joining us from the Great Bend Panthers. Also in with us today, Matthew Johnson and Caden Hoffman. Guys, thanks for coming in on the program today. Did Aaron Clark ever hold?
No, never. 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 Got his assignment and drove his kid every play.
Okay, I was just wondering about that. Quick thoughts on the rule changes we had this year? Not too much, but that holding penalty can be a big drive stopper.
Yeah, and that's something I was just talking to Matthew about. It's something I really haven't talked to them a ton about because, like he said, he just never crosses his mind as an offensive lineman.
Well, I know.
So hopefully we're not getting holding penalties in the backfield, 5, 10 yards deep. So not a huge factor. I think it probably is a little tougher on the defense. If you do make a play back there, they do get called for holding. Let's say they're attacking a quarterback who's backpedaling or flushed out of the pocket, and they're 10, 12 yards deep, and a guy's going to make the sack. That's the one that will probably be a little bit different for us to adapt to.
Okay, McPherson in here tomorrow night, but preparations. It always seems, you start in the summer, even off-season workouts, things like that, and then all of a sudden here we are, and it's go time, Coach.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys ready over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking
ready
about
to play some games.
Yeah, we were talking about it on the way over here, and it does. It just happens so fast. You put in so much time in the off season, in the summer, and then through fall camp here. It's just I always tell them that the hours go slow, but the days they fly by, and that's kind of how it is right now. We're like you said, less than 24 hours away from our home opener, and these guys have put in a ton of work. They're extremely excited. These 2 young men have done a great job of leading this team, and we're very excited to get out there in front of our home crowd tomorrow.
So you ready, Matthew?
Yeah, we've been waiting for this moment All summer.
What's different this year is you're a senior instead of one of the underclassmen.
I don't know. I kind of feel the pressure, though, just a little bit, being the senior captain. I did it last year, but I just feel the pressure a little bit more this year.
Boy, things changed last year with that season. It was unbelievable. You guys go into fall camp, and you're trying to end a long losing streak, and then, you stumble a little bit out of the gate, and then boom, you're, getting so close to advancing on in the 5A playoffs last year. Maybe talk about the feeling on this team going into fall practice last year compared to this year.
I mean, last year, obviously coming off
Don't worry about it.
We don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that. But anyways, the first 2 losses last year, McPherson and Hayes, were obviously bitter. But when we came out against Bueller, I mean, it just changed the whole thing. The momentum just started riding, and we started riding with it. And then the overtime win against Dodge was a big one. And then Garden was the funnest game last year. I mean, there's no better feeling than beating the big Power A 6A Garden team. And then this year coming into fall camp, obviously we have the young guys this year, but I'm excited to get into it.
Caden, how ready are you tomorrow night?
Very ready.
Going on what I asked Matthew, I mean, what's different this year going into this fall camp?
Not much is different. I mean, we've kept these same expectations for a while. But last year, we just really figured out what we could do as a team. And this year, we know what we can do as a team, and we're very excited.
Caden, talk about what your role on this football team, with positions that you're going to see time at.
I'm playing cornerback, and yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we kind of use him as a hybrid on our defense.
I like
him.
him.
He really is. He can play a lot of different positions, and you'll kind of see that showcase for him. So he does a little bit of everything for us.
How valuable is that to have somebody like that?
Well, extremely. And that's, Caden, one of the reasons I wanted to bring him in here for that first group, because he just had such a breakout junior year for us and carried that into the summer and has really been a leader for us, for these young guys. And he kind of talks about, what's different from this year, and I think he hit it on the head, is just, expectations were the same, heading in, but the difference is now they know they can do it, and the confidence that I've seen in these kids, not only on the field but just in the community, in the hallways. It's exciting to see, as long as they wore it to kind of break out, and now you can kind of tell they're growing up as men.
That's pretty good when your coach says as a breakout season last year. Caden, what clicked for you last year that really helped you have that breakout season?
I started watching a lot of film, so I could pretty much tell what the play was before the play would really happen. And it was...
How hard is that to know different positions, as being the hybrid?
All you really need to understand is the defense, and then once you really understand the defense fully, you can really just be put wherever.
Okay. Matthew, you've got the old two-way thing going again this year. I love it. That says a lot about someone when you go offensive lineman, linebacker. That never was the case for Aaron. I don't think they had him lined up there, but that's pretty cool. I mean, that shows that you've got some quickness and you can move.
Yeah, I love being on the field. I don't want to ever get taken off of it. So, just both ways is fun for me.
Talk about that offensive line this year.
So we got Trent Curran starting left tackle. He's going to be solid for us. I mean, he played right guard a little bit for us last year, switched off with Aiden Davidson. So we'll be good with him. And then we got Carter Brown at center. He's young, but once he gets it, he'll be good. We got Tatum at right guard this year, and he came in new for us from Texas, and he'll be good this year. And then we got Owen this year at right tackle, and he's a big boy, so we're going to figure out what he can do, and he'll do it for us.
I guess it's kind of like a teamwork thing, especially that offensive line. And, the more reps you get, the better things are going to be.
Yeah, right now we're really working on our chemistry. Last year our chemistry at the O-line was really good, and that's what we're trying to work for right now, is getting back to that level.
Okay, Caden, as far as the defense and things like that, what do you like about this defense this year?
Our defense is just really, we all fly around all over the place, and I love that about everybody. Like, we're always 100% to the ball every second of every play. We're flying around, and we're just always trying to win in every single play.
Okay, so what's going to feel like tomorrow night when you come busting out of that door, getting ready to head out on the field and to get things started, Matthew?
Adrenaline's going to be pumping. I'm ready for it.
Looking forward to it, Caden?
Oh, yeah. I'm stoked.
I think so. Tell me about these guys. I mean, seniors, what's that mean for Aaron Beck program? I mean, what kind of responsibilities and how do you rely on your senior class, Aaron?
Yeah, it's always kind of hard to believe, when you bring in a new group of seniors, how quickly it goes. And same for these guys. It just doesn't feel like very long ago they were just coming in as freshmen, sophomores, and so the expectation for these guys is just each and every day to lead this team, to make sure our practices are crisp, and these guys do a great job of that. Having MJ kind of be our guy offensively to get them going, and he obviously helps us defensively. But I think Caden does a great job with some young guys in our secondary to kind of be the senior leader over there. So that would be the big thing, and then just to understand, you heard it from MJ talking about our O-line. Chemistry is huge on an offensive line, and communication is huge. So understanding that we're going to have to help some of these young guys out, and he is so good about that, and that's what we will lean heavily on him tomorrow night when we can't simulate all the blitzes, the fronts, the stunts that McPherson's going to throw at us. So we got to be able to figure it out on the fly, and that's hard. That's hard when you got a guy like MJ that plays both ways for us to communicate it to him. So utilizing timeouts, utilizing the iPads, and getting film to him as quickly as we can to talk about that kind of stuff will be key for these guys. And then just not to play outside themselves. Don't get so wrapped up in what is happening and just focus on the task at hand. And that's what I'll tell these kids before we run out. You guys, don't get me wrong, enjoy the moment, but we can't have anybody freaking out in the moment. You gotta reset. Next play, next down.
How does playing linebacker help you at offensive line, Matthew?
It gives away like the tendencies of the linemen. Like sometimes they lean a little bit if they're pulling, or if they're pass setting, they're kind of a little more passive on the knuckles. Like you can read their knuckles if they're really wide or red, and they're coming right at you.
The old knuckle thing, right? Yeah, you've got. Yeah, that's good, and then it probably helps vice versa, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You see other guys' weaknesses, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you can tell by the linebackers' feet if they're getting antsy back there, they're going to blitz, or if they're just going to read it, sit back and wait.
So, take me through it. Okay, huddle breaks. We're going to the line of scrimmage. Coach talked about that communication. What kind of communication is going on as you go to the line of scrimmage to line up at guard?
We're looking at the fronts. I'm calling out the fronts. Looking at like where the backers are at, where the outside backers are at, and then just letting the offensive line know where they're lined up in the box.
Just that communication. You ever just point at the guy and blocking you?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's
what you got to do.
Yeah, that's the funnest one. Hey, I'm coming after you. Some of your keys that you're looking at when you start to analyze that defense, Caden, or the offense.
Well, I really look at like the running back. The running back really does give away a lot of things. And also wide receivers, how they line up before the play even starts. You can almost tell whether it's a run or pass.
There's so much more that just lining up and being physical and being strong, isn't there, Coach?
Yeah, they did a good job, too, because I told them, guys, remember, there's always people listening. Be careful on some of this stuff. So I know I dive into that kind of stuff when kids talk, so that was very good for them.
Okay, very, very good. Your thoughts on McPherson, Coach?
Well, this team is such a well-coached team. Coach Pavlovich and I have known each other for a long time, and I've enjoyed this rivalry. It's always a tough one week one, but they run a very similar style of offense to us, and I would echo that with what these guys both said defensively. That hopefully that will help us a little bit as we head into week one. Not coming out and seeing a flex moan or a wing T team like Gardner Dodge. So seeing a similar type of offense, but they graduated a lot of seniors. They really did. They had a solid team. It seems like Mac wins about 10 games every season, but I know junior class-wise, they always have kids that are solid JV kids that are ready to step into those senior roles, and That'll be the case at quarterback for him. That'll be the case at some key up front offensive line positions. And then I don't know what it is about Mac. I talked to Coach Pav yesterday. They always seem to get a few move-ins. I don't know if it's that plant there or what, but they always have a few kids that surprise them. So they ain't going to drop off at all at quarterback, running back, losing those 2 kids. I know they're going to bring in some guys. So it's going to be a challenge. We got to be ready for it. They're always tall kids. They're always lengthy. They always press you. They don't. They run really well. So those type of things will be the key in that game tomorrow. And then who can minimize mistakes? Week 1, there's going to be things that are going to go wrong. How can we handle adversity? Because it's going to happen, and that's where you have hope these guys like this can right the ship out there on the field. And I think it's going to be a fun one.
They've had some good teams here in recent seasons for sure, Aaron, but you've played them as tough as anybody.
Yeah, even those years that we were struggling to get over the hump, I thought we had some really good battles with McPherson. So I know both coaching staffs really respect each other, and it'll be a fun test for us.
Okay, when you've watched the film, looking at these guys, Matthew, what stands out to you?
They're always going to play hard. I mean, both years I've played them, they've always came out the gate just playing their hearts out. So we're going to have to match that intensity.
Caden, what do you think?
Their receivers block really well.
And they're probably tall. I mean, how do they? I mean, we've got tall receivers. Are we going to have the height advantage this year, Harry?
I think we might finally have it. We got Coach Cree on staff this year, and he's actually our receivers coach. So I know he will be very proud to say that my basketball receivers are taller than your basketball receivers. So hopefully we can win that battle.
Well, that's great when you bring these guys in. So it's just a kind of an easy question, but we're a little over 24 hours away. What are you feeling right now, Matthew?
I'm just ready to go. I mean, I felt the butterflies this morning like we were talking about earlier, and I'm just ready to get after it.
Caden?
I'm just really looking to go out there and play my butt off, and I really hope that everyone else comes and brings the same intensity, and we just go out there and play like we know how to play.
How cool is it to go out there? You get, Great Bend High School, Panthers. The stands are packed. I mean, of fans that are rooting for Great Bend. You're playing for your hometown team. What's that mean to you?
It means so much to me. I mean, we've dreamed of playing high school football ever since we were little kids, and being able to actually do it and to go out there for the community and play our hearts out is just awesome.
Can you top that, Matthew?
Yeah, I'm just glad we could bring it back for him. I mean, it was obviously a little disappointing. We're not going to talk about it, but just bringing it back for him, enjoying the games this year, it's always fun.
It's going to be great. Coach, your feelings right now heading into tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's always a whirlwind this time of year. Just feel like you got a lot of stuff you got to get done, and I just told these guys on the drive over here, I'm just ready for that moment, that moment when you kind of walk out and you see these guys and look in their face and know that they're the reason we do this thing, and it's always a fun feeling for me as a coach.
Okay, the maroon shirt returns next week. Okay, I just want you to know that.
I like that. That one does look good, though.
Okay.
Maybe that will be our lucky one.
Well, okay, we'll see.
that
Okay,
shit.
all right. Hey, I'll wear whatever as long as we keep going.
There we
here.
go.
Okay.
There we go. I like
Guys, thanks for coming in, Aaron. It's great to bring these kids in, and guys, good luck, and
thank you.
And it's gonna be electric out there tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
So good luck to you.
Thank you.
Sports Day here on KVGB, brought to you in part by the American Plains Co-op, Bulk Fuel Department, your certified Cenex lubricant dealer in Great Bend, and Equity Bank, adding value for our customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. See the locations tab at equitybank.com for more locations. Big cross-country meet taking place today. The boys will be back in to talk about it right after this.
Extend the life of your equipment with the best warranty program and risk management tool in the agriculture industry. The Cenex Total Protection Plan covers new and used equipment. Receive up to 10 years or 10,000 hours of engine coverage when you use Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster premium diesel fuel and synthetic lubricants. With no deductible, the Cenex Total Protection Plan provides unmatched coverage to give you the power you need to keep your business running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor, today.
At Nextech Wireless, it's wireless on your terms. You pick a 36, 24, or 18-month agreement and get a device on us like the iPhone 14, or the new Google Pixel 7. Stuck in a contract with your current provider? Switch now and get up to $1,000 per line. For more details, stop by your nearest Next-Tech Wireless location today or call or text our customer care team at 877-621-2600. Next-Tech Wireless, home on the range.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on KVGB. Great stuff. Matthew Johnson and Caden Hoffman in here today talking about Great Bend Panther football tomorrow night. Boy, what a great start. We're going to have 3 great games for you on the platform. On B1043, Aaron Clark, Randy Wetzel will have the call starting at 6:30 on B1043 The Point. Cole Reif and Jason Perry with the call of Hoisington and Heston. What a great matchup there. And I'm going to call this the Egg Bowl because when these schools play at different locations, it seems like the eggs sell out at I'm not encouraging anything tomorrow night, okay? Not at all. But Earl Roberts Field tomorrow, it's going to be the Great Bend, or it's going to be the Larned Indians taking on the Pratt Greenbacks. Don't forget KU football tomorrow night. That moves here to KVGB. So we will have Kansas against Missouri State tomorrow night. That's going to get started at 6:30 with our coverage. So no Royals baseball tomorrow night. We'll let the boys in blue kind of go on their own a little bit here tomorrow, and we'll get that going again at 6:30. Okay, Great Bend Invitational taking place this morning, and Mike Corson and Aaron Clark were both out there at Lake Barton. Are you okay, Mike?
Sound like Kramer, man.
He was getting warmed up for the 42U. He's getting his pre-trials.
He was out there running sprints, getting ready for Eugene, Oregon.
Almost made it up here, and then I was like, the results are downstairs. Run. So, yeah, really good race. First time out. Addie Nicholson, 3rd place overall. Pretty much expected for Great Bend. The big senior leader's done well. Let's see here. Marissa Boone, 5th overall, 2nd on the team. Kind of the big one was Mackenzie Premer is going to volleyball tonight in Garden City. Didn't know if we would see her out on the course. She gets 7th overall.
And you had a chance to talk with Kenzie, right?
So the big kicker was she ran with Addie for a lot of the race, but then Addie came in way ahead of her. So like, okay, where's Premer? I saw her look over her shoulder, but as she's getting close to the finish line, starts going down. And so I hadn't seen that. I used to watch a girl from Lions who would black out near the finish line, get up, know she was in a race, and finish. So Premer never blacked out, but her body was struggling, but she knew where she was, and she got up and finished 7th.
Here's Mike Corson and Kenzie Premer.
At the 200, I could feel my legs starting to turn to jello. And I looked back to see where the girl was, and I saw she was coming, so I tried to speed up. And my legs just couldn't. They were just done, so I just collapsed because they felt like jello. I had to tell myself to finish because I was not going to quit with 30 meters left to go, so I made myself finish. Yeah, I haven't ran under 6-minute mile in practice, so it was definitely eye-opening to see what that's like.
That's awesome.
When you look at the time, she was really in still the elite pack. Eliana Beckham finished behind her, but it was 36 seconds, so Roop was 17 seconds off her course record she set last October, and she still beat everybody by 39 seconds.
Okay, and what year is she?
She is just a junior. This is only her 2nd year because as a freshman, she's a state tennis player, and she couldn't duel as a freshman at Salina Central.
So Kenzie Premer, is she on the bus going to Garden City today then?
I tell you, when she finished the race, I said, that doesn't bode well for volleyball. But talking to her, and then she regrouped, and I think I said, you going to play volleyball tonight? She's like, yeah.
And I had a chance to chat with Kenzie a little bit later when she'd recovered a little more from the race. And I was talking to her, how are you going to go from playing or from being exhausted from cross country into volleyball? She said that nap on the bus going to be a crucial element in the preparation for volleyball today. So I can't imagine trying to play two sports at the same time in the same season at all, let alone the same day. Huge props to Mackenzie Premier.
Well, and I like her quote too about, I said, well, because it's her first competition, it's a little bit harder than practice. She said, yeah, I've never ran a sub-6. Well, most people will never run a sub-6. So the fact that she beat herself and decided to keep pushing, it's pretty cool.
Okay, other results for the Panthers.
Morgan Beckwith was 15th in the girls' race. And overall, Great Bend scored 22 points, so all 5 of their scores were in the top 15, I believe. Boys' side, Great Bend had a couple in the top 30, but the state runner-up from last year was Caleb Glazer from Mays, wins by 12 seconds in 16-18. And Garden City actually beat Buhler, who's the pretty clear favorite to win 4A. But our leading guy was Camden Tarleton from Hoisington, finished first by a long shot in the small classifications, but would have gotten 11th overall against all the 4, 5A, 6 kids.
So they all ran together, but then they had the separate times for this, or did they have 2 races?
Nope, they all ran together.
Okay.
And some of the kids said it was pretty busy out there, and we had 19 teams this year. I kind of already heard that maybe 3 more are coming next year, so
turn it into a premier event to start the season off.
There were some jokes about they ran the Twilight last year where there's thousands of kids, and it's, I guess, kind of an interesting traffic, if nothing else. And there was a joke that, I don't know what the opposite of Twilight is, since they run in the morning and it's not quite dawn, but...
The daybreak.
Yeah.
So where are the Panthers next? Do we know?
That I do not.
Okay, all right.
We'll have the story up here shortly on Great Bend Post.
Okay, man. Glad you're getting your workout in. Okay. Equity Bank helping to bring you Sports Day today, adding value for their customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoiston, and Larned. See the locations tab at equitybank.com. Also, Sports Day brought to you in part by the Venture Corporation, reminding you to help a neighbor. Shop local when you can. And by Eller Automotive Repair, a local mechanic that can help. They're located behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source. Mike Corson. Are you going to be okay? He goes on the prowl next with Zach Bartle. Great Bend Panther girls tennis here on Sports Day.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
I had a young gal come in the other day who has been having chronic back pain. Did a session just helping her to understand her pain, not understanding her back, but teaching her how her nervous system works. And just that knowledge just calmed her down so much. She came back in this morning, huge smile on her face, and she was so excited to learn more. It was a blast.
Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson, joined today by Panther tennis coach Zach Bartle. Coach, how we doing?
Pretty good, Mike.
Some pretty good news coming out of Lions last week. Second place finish as a team. Just first impression as a team, first time out.
Yeah, it was a respectable finish. There were kind of some ups and downs. Some of our girls, the level of competition varied quite a bit. Some of our girls had some tough matches and some not tough matches. And yeah, it's kind of varied. Overall, I was pretty happy with us, how we did. Our two doubles went undefeated at that spot. It doesn't mean they played the best of the day, but they did what they needed to do to beat those opponents.
And that was Danica Strickland and Mackenzie LaViolette. I think they opened their season with a 7-5 win, so just how nice to see some clutch play early on.
Yeah, that was good. I didn't know at the time, but that was their toughest match of the day. So I thought they got up on them a little bit and kind of almost gave it away, but that was, a pretty solid team they were playing. And we kind of focused on starting strong with those two, and by the last one we finally did start strong, and it wasn't the strongest team, but they still, took care of business.
Number one singles, Kaylin Wallmeyer, second place with a 3-1 record, but she only gets beat by a state qualifier who kind of ran the table against everybody. Pleased with her play?
Yeah, that Pratt girl was tough. We've seen her before, and she has an older sister, I think, who's played. And, Kaylin maybe could have, put up more of a fight against her, but she played her tough. The score maybe didn't indicate how close the match was, and I don't think anyone was close to that Pratt player at the tournament.
I don't think so either. Number two singles, another 3-1 record. That's Clarice Snap was going 3-1, and the only match she lost was a 7-6 tiebreaker against another Pratt player.
Yep, she had that. I wouldn't say she had the match in hand, but she had kind of the advantage or the upper hand throughout most of that match, and it was a long kind of slugfest, and she just couldn't quite hold on at the end there. But she played well that day. That's about as well as I've seen her play at a varsity meet in her career, probably.
And then finally at number one doubles, we had Sam Mayers and Taylor Lashley. And last year it was a big turnaround season, so they opened at 2-2 for third place. But tough competition or a good start? What's going on there?
They had kind of a weird set of matchups. They had two, I would say, very solid opponents, and they played particularly well against Chaparral, I think it was. They just barely dropped that one. And then Pratt was, comparable to Chaparral, and we didn't start off too well and didn't play quite as well there. And then the other two were just kind of walkovers. I told them I wish they'd played two more teams like Pratt and Chaparral just to get a little bit more competition, but there wasn't really anybody in the middle at that meet for them.
Temperatures are supposed to pick back up, but you guys are going to catch the tail end of the cool streak today in McPherson. Looking forward to anything there?
It's always a big test. So we see some teams there that we don't see much throughout the rest of the season, but we do. Some of those teams we will see at regionals. So McPherson's always tough. They won't. I think they're still going to be in 4A this year, but they usually have two solid teams. Their first team and second team are both good. They always have good doubles teams. Newton, Valley Center, or some other Derby or some other schools we see there. So it's really early in the season, but it is a chance to get a signature win and a win that could help with some regional seeding.
We're talking to Lady Panther tennis coach Zach Bartle. And then after that, get the extra bit of weekend in there with Labor Day, and then you guys are home next week. How fun to kind of, not kicking off the season, but you guys get to play at home pretty early.
Yeah, we always have that schedule for a while. We call it our home meet week. Tuesday we got the varsity. It's either going to be 4 or 5 teams. We might add we like to have Meade come, and they're not able to come, but we might flip in a substitute there. And then JV on Thursday the 7th, and then varsity invitational with I should know this, 8 or 10 teams on Saturday. So yeah, it's fun to be at home for a whole week. Sometimes I wish it was spread out a little bit more, so people could, maybe they don't hear about that week and they don't have a chance to come see us. So it'd be great if we could get some fans out there and support the girls.
Excellent, Coach. Well, good luck today in McPherson. I know, it seems like you got all your powerhouses around the state. McPherson Tennis is usually somewhere on that list. So good luck today, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
More Sports Day after this.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Barton Community College helped me get a jump start on college with early college opportunities. With Barton's help, I earned my degree at the same time I graduated from high school. You can take classes on campus, online, and even at your high school with teachers you already know. With tuition rates starting at $50 per credit hour for select Kansas high school audiences and scholarship opportunities, it is easier than ever. Barton Community College helped me get one step closer to my dream, and it can help you too. Learn more at highschool.bartonccc.edu.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-587-5063. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-587-5063 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-587-5063 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-587-5063.
Sports Day brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. Really appreciate our sponsors that are helping us bring you Sports Day here in Central Kansas. Steve Webster and Aaron Clark. Mike Corson's down resting the legs right now after he was... Did Corson run backwards like he said he was going to and get pictures?
I don't think he did. I did see him hustling around. It's fun being at a cross-country meet because the people are just standing in place until everyone, like a flock of sheep being herded by a cattle dog, starts moving at once, funneling into the little walkways to get from one point where you can watch to another. It's funny when you see the racers come around and just the crowd move en masse one way.
Well, you gotta have strategy on how to run. Yes. Okay. You've got to get a thing to put in my ear, Hesh. Okay. You're over there doing all these contortions and everything else. So
they call it an IFB.
Okay,
is what they do. That's a good point, though.
Yeah, we need IFB in here. Exactly. So what were you even talking about?
Well, we got the Panther Booster Club. We could mention what
oh yeah, absolutely, hit that. Yeah, please.
Yeah. So the Booster Club is going to be back at their regular location on the north side by the home stands.
Okay.
So at the last week they had kind of flipped it over just with some of the construction on the field. For the first week, they will be at their normal location. That's a $5 tailgate. You can get your choice of either a hamburger or a hot dog, and with chips, cookie, and water. And that's Friday night. Brought to you by the Booster Club, and along with the Family Crisis Center, they'll be selling red, black, and white Pura Vida bracelets. $10 each, and all proceeds go to the Family Crisis Center. It's like a threaded, kind of like a friendship bracelet, bracelet that's threaded like that, and like I said, all proceeds going to the Family Crisis Center.
Okay, so that'll be tomorrow night.
And tomorrow night.
Food out there before, or just with?
I'm trying to decide with the $5 tailgate like that. It's gonna be pretty hard. I just remember Curtis Schaub has actually been in contact with me about some of the food for Friday night's game.
Yeah.
So don't want to reveal right now. Maybe we can reveal that on tomorrow's show. But I am pretty excited for the food situation up in that press box. They're already taking care of it.
They've got press box food up there.
That is from some
Well,
emails
look at that.
I've
That's
received.
big time.
Yes.
That is big time.
They're treating me like one of their own already. Can't
Okay,
say
so
no.
what are you doing tonight? Are you watching college football or?
That's the plan. Kind of interested in, as weird as this, Nebraska versus Minnesota. Kind of has my eye. I'm interested to see what the Minnesota Golden Gophers can do. They lost a running back, Mo Ibrahim, last year. I'm excited to see what they can do without
Matt
him.
Rule era begins tonight.
And that's what I was going to bring up with Nebraska. I'm interested to see what he can do. Obviously flamed out in Carolina with the Panthers, kind of got fired midway through the season, got picked up by Nebraska. I'm excited to see what he brings to Nebraska if he can't get the Big Red turned around.
Okay, that's at 7 p.m. tonight on Fox. The game the upset special. South Dakota at Missouri tonight on the SEC network. That'd be good. That would be good. Let's see. Other games tonight you might want to check out. I don't know if you want. Florida at 14th ranked Utah tonight.
This is the first out-of-conference away game for the University of Florida out of the state of Florida since 1991 when they played Syracuse. So they've played out like UCF, not in conference, but first away out of conference.
That's a tough opener, man. Utah is not a good there's a little bit of elevation there that you're dealing with.
And I have heard that Utah will be without their starting quarterback, Cam Rising. He's been there for at least the starter for the past 2 years. I'll be interested to see what the Utes can do without him there. But like you said, coming into Utah for Florida, that's a long trip, hostile place to play against a team that has had a pretty good defense the past couple of years. We've seen them put up some good squads.
That game's at 7 o'clock on ESPN. North Carolina State plays at UConn tonight. Elon wouldn't go into Wake Forest and win tonight, would they? Elon Wake Forest. I don't know what channel that's even on.
The Demon Deacons might have to be on alert.
Kent State at UCF tonight. There's the Big 12
First game as a member of the Big 12. Let's see what the Knights have.
And if you got several different channels, you can check out Rhode Island at Georgia State, St. Francis, Pennsylvania, at Western Michigan tonight. And what else we got? Arkansas Pine Bluff at Tulsa, North Carolina A&T at UAB, and Southern Utah at Arizona State, a future Big 12 member.
Arizona, the Big 12 expanding all over the place. You can check out.
There's a game in every time zone.
That's the future of college football, isn't it insane? Future conferences.
Okay, tomorrow on the show, we'll get you ready for high school football. And also, we'll kind of recap what's going on in volleyball because Connor Nickel will be on Sunflower Sports Solutions, so we'll hit both sports tomorrow. You're going to have a visit with Jace Pavlovich, head coach of the McPherson Bullpups tomorrow.
And head coach of the West Squad Shrine Bowl team this year. Tune in for that. It's a great interview.
Yep. You get kind of cocky to saying it's
going to be the first one. It's going to be great.
Okay, all right.
I know it will be.
And the play-by-play tomorrow night for the Panthers. Okay, talk to you tomorrow on Sports Day right here on KVGB.